A very warm welcome to all the listeners. This is your host Madhulika Chauhan, and you are listening to the episodic version of the great epic of Mahabharat. When Vichitra Veera died of sickness, Bhishma was unable to take the throne because of his vow of celibacy, and Bahilika's line was unwilling to leave Bahilika kingdom, thus creating a succession crisis in the kingdom of Hastinapur. Queen Satyavati then invited her son Vyasa to impregnate the queen Ambika and Ambalika under the Niyoga practice. When Vyasa went to impregnate Ambika, she got frightened due to his scary appearance and closed her eyes during their union. Her son was born blind. This son came to be known as Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, along with his younger brother Pandu, was trained in the military arts by Bhishma and Kripacharya. Hindered by his handicap, Dhritarashtra was unable to wield weapons but had the strength of 100,000 elephants due to a boon given by Vyasa. He was said to be so strong that he could crush iron with his bare hands. When the time came to nominate an heir, Vidur suggested that Pandu should be a better fit because he was not blind. Though bitter at the result, Dhritarashtra willingly conceded the crown. However, this act gave rise to his protectiveness towards the throne later in life. Dhritarashtra married Gandhari of Hastinapur's weakened and lowly vassal Gandhar. Gandhari covered her eyes with a cloth in order to better understand her husband's blindness. He and Gandhari had 100 sons, called the Kauravas, and one daughter, Dushala. He also had a son named Yuyutsu with a concubine. Dhritarashtra's physical disability compelled him to give up his dreams of becoming a king, despite being the rightful ruler. The bitterness fermented, leading to an unwise and ill-advised decisions like the one not to return Indraprastha to the Pandavas, which some argued could lead to the battle of Mahabharata. Dhritarashtra favored his son Duryodhana, despite being aware of Duryodhana's wrongdoings, as he was emotionally blind too. He did not think like a king, but like a father. He failed to control his son's actions and arrogance, leading to an ill-advised war that had an astronomical cost in terms of life. His weakness is nowhere more apparent as when Draupadi was humiliated in his court, but he chose to remain quiet and silent, despite having the authority to stop a wrong from being committed. After Krishna's peace mission failed and the war seemed inevitable, Vyasa approached Dhritarashtra and offered to grant him divine vision so that Dhritarashtra could see the war. However, not willing to see his kin slaughtered, Dhritarashtra asked that the boon to be given to Sanjay, his charioteer. Sanjay dutifully narrated the war to his liege, reporting how Bhima killed all his children. Sanjay would console the blind king while challenging the king with his own viewpoints and morals. When Lord Krishna displayed his Vishwarupa to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Dhritarashtra regretted not possessing the divine sight. Dhritarashtra was confident that Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and other invincible warriors would make the Kaurava camp victorious. He rejoiced whenever the tide of war turned towards the Kauravas. However, the results of the war devastated him. All of his true-born sons were killed in the carnage. Dhritarashtra's only daughter, Dushala, was widowed. Yuyutsu had defected to Pandava's side at the onset of the war and was the only son of Dhritarashtra who had managed to survive the Kurukshetra war. Dhritarashtra was furious with Bhima for mercilessly slaying all his sons, especially Duryodhana. After the war ended, the victorious Pandavas arrived at Hastinapur for the formal transfer of power. The Pandavas went to embrace their uncle and give their respects. When Dhritarashtra turned to Bhima, Lord Krishna sensed the danger and asked Bhima to move Duryodhana's iron statue of Bhima, used by the prince for training, in his place. Dhritarashtra crushed the statue into pieces and then broke down crying as his anger left him. Broken and defeated, Dhritarashtra apologized for his folly and wholeheartedly embraced Bhima and other Pandavas. After the great war of Mahabharat, the grief-stricken blind king, along with his wife Gandhari and sister-in-law Kunti and his half-brother Vidur, left Hastinapur for penance. It is believed that all of them, except Vidur, who preceded them, perished in a forest fire and attained heaven. With this, we come to an end to today's episode on the great epic of Mahabharat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy and stay healthy always. Narayan Narayan.